Right, we're here at Hadley Castle. It's a beautiful day, and I'm going to show you how to climb safely. And rather than focusing on climbing man-made structures, I'm going to focus this time on rocks. Although obviously this is man-made rock, it's been here for some time, so you can hardly call it organised. So, it's basically here.
Hello, BTP Joe here. It's quite significant.
And I don't think there is another website that does anything like that.
I've watched your site develop and it's brilliant now, it's absolutely brilliant.
So Beyond the Point started 3 years ago, obviously, when we was on Two Tree Island and decided to put our adventures on a blog. But actually, really, it began before that. We set the website up about July, 17th of July, as is our birthday. But it was about the Easter that year that we did 1 or 2 visits to the Occidental Oil Refinery, an abandoned oil refinery on Canvey that was being built in the 70s.
And it was mainly the Occidental site we started exploring. So me and Liam just went out bike rides, and then when we went to Two Tree Islands, which was on July the 17th, 2011, that's when we decided to set up the blog. Then we biked back to Liam's house, and then we set up on WordPress then.
Joe came up with the name on this Two Tree Island visit, and I think other names we had in mind were sort of Beyond Essex, Beyond Canvey.
We liked the idea of sort of beyond like normal history, like abandoned remains, and we come up with some names like Beyond Castle Point.
Because it's quite an unusual name, I suppose, especially for a history archive. You know, usually archives have straightforward names. Canvey Island Community Archive, Benfleet and Hadley Community Archive.
The amount of times that people have asked us, how did you set up Beyond the Point, or how did you get the name? It's been loads. It's the question that we've been asked the most. And then we had that at stalls, community events. But it's nice for people to show an interest.
We were prompted to make videos. I suppose it was just a natural sort of byproduct of doing a website on local history and then trying to modernise it, because, you know, YouTube videos, creating BTP Joe and BTP Liam, that sort of the team, and that it's something you see in a lot of YouTube channels today, and it really brings that local history to the 21st century.
Our first proper BTP video, I remember because this is our first one on YouTube, is how to climb a castle wall. And it is absolutely terrible.
It's literally not even, it wasn't done well. It wasn't designed to actually be of use to anyone.
He gets stuck at the top and then I have to help him down. I even had to cut a bit of the video out.
And unfortunately, I'm still known for this terrible video to this day. This is at Hadley Castle, we filmed it.
That was filmed in SD, it was terrible, and I remember myself saying in the video, for health and safety, do not try this at home and that.
People at first, we did a lot of sort of spoof videos like the Canvey Island Monster. How to Climb a Castle Wall obviously wasn't deadly serious. It was almost like a Bear Grylls Mickey take, except that it wasn't even really funny.
So yeah, you give a tutorial on how to climb a wall and then you can't even climb it yourself.
But yeah, so I think people at school and that, when they found out about BTP, it was still at this sort of jokey stage when the videos were more sort of almost a bit spoof-like. So we did get known for that at first, but I think since obviously we've been known much more for the serious documentaries that we're producing.
Yes, them 3 words, Canvey Island Monster. It's actually sitting around my house at the minute in our BTP room.
First film, if I can call it that we made, came out, like I say, first BTP Explore was in Easter, then we created the website, the blog, in about July, and then in September, I think it was, we actually made the Canvey Island Monster film.
And yeah, Caviar Monster, everyone knows about it, especially at school. Get people going around saying, Caviar Monster, Caviar Monster.
And it just shows you how we've improved, because we filmed this video over a sleepover in 2 days, and now films, you know, for a 10-minute video we've got to get clips that, you know, take up so many weekends, and that video 10 minutes will be made up of loads of clips.
And videos like the Tilbury Tunnels, you can see the sounds, and you see and learn more things that you don't quite see in a written text or photos. So you do learn more from the videos, surprisingly.
I think the production process has changed quite a lot. Well, certainly has, because as I said, you know, we take, you know, so many more clips and stuff for videos now. They're much more professionally done. There's no shortcuts taken, as we probably, well, we, you know, Caviar Monster was probably made up only about 10 clips. Now, most films are made up of 50 clips, and then the best ones are chosen. It's a bit like taking photographs for Joe, really. And we've gotten obviously much better equipment. We've got microphones and all that sort of stuff. Before, it's just one little handheld, and that was it.
I believe I met you and Liam. There was an event in the Labworth Field, and you had a stand there. I think I might have met you before then, but the stand just completely overwhelmed me with all the things that you'd collected. All the things that you collected over the over the course of your travels, even at that time, and that was 3 years ago now. That's when I think I really first met you and got to know both of you.
I thought you were very interesting. I thought it was such a pleasure to meet two young men who were willing to go out and find things out for themselves and not rely on other people to do it for them.
Right, well, I met you two with Vince, who was with, you will know about, Canvey 2000, because we were the founder members of it. And Vince introduced me to you, like, after we got that going. I know it was a long while after, but he introduced me to you when he was involved in that.
I thought it was really interesting. I didn't know where you would be going with it. And now that it's 3 years down the line, and you still find areas on the island to investigate and find things, and I just think it's amazing, and it just shows how much there is on this island.
I've watched your site develop, and it's brilliant now. It's absolutely brilliant. But all along the way, it's been very impressive what you've done and how you've documented it, and your commitment to the site and to the community has been brilliant.
Different groups say about it. I mean, you was involved in the carnival, filming down there, and I know you do filming with the heritage people, so different meetings I go to, they actually mention yous, and yous are normally round anyway. So
the different avenues you've taken it into has been really impressive. That's probably what's impressed me the most. And I think that your website, obviously, I think you do that yourselves, don't you? And that's developed a lot. So there was a lot of different areas that you've grown into.
But you go out and look for the sites, and you look for the information yourselves. And I don't think there is another website that does anything like that.
People are asking you to get involved in a lot more as well. So you've built, if you like, a trusting relationship with different groups, and I think that's what it takes. Then people start to let you in. So so I think you've developed a trusting relationship with a lot of people who actually want you to be there filming and that, which is great.
I thought it was brilliant to have two youngsters so interested in the area that they live, and your enthusiasm. And you don't often get that in the youngsters these days. They're more about going out clubbing and hanging around parks and things like that. So I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
There's always potential in people to grow and to go into other avenues. And I think if you can see something in someone, and I did in you, just because you put yourself out there. And I think that was such a special quality, and not many people do that of your age. And I think that's what I saw in you.
I think Beyond the Point is a real canvas. You're selling canvas and promoting canvas, which a lot of us are not good at doing.
My best visit, the camping trip, was really good because that was like so relaxing to look at. It was just like the places were just like really picturesque. It was a really good like holiday break. My favourite trip, standalone, was probably Tilby Fort because it had a bit of everything, and it had underground tunnels, it had rooftops, it had just going around the natural grassed areas. It was quite an old place as well, but it had Victorian bits built onto it, so it encompassed a lot of areas of history. It was a really good example of what BTP is all about in a single trip.
Our worst visit was one that we did quite early on, and that was to Canvey Point, and we nearly drowned. We originally went out to do metal detecting, I think, or look for pottery, but I think the tide was in at the bit that we wanted, so we decided to go out to the point. And then when it's out there, it's the middle bit that's lower, so when the tide comes in, that gets flooded, not the end bit. We started heading back and we realised that the tide was coming in. So I took all the electric equipment and Liam went first, and he had to jump and he tried to step to see how deep it was, and then some bits were so deep it come up to like here on him, and then we got back that way. Luckily we didn't drown, and I always remember Liam, he said as we was going out there, how can someone drown out there? And that's how.
It's made us quite well known at school, obviously, for the right or the wrong reasons. But I think in the community, I think a lot of people have heard about Beyond the Point, especially through websites like Canvey Island Then and Now, because that sort of brought it much more to the standard residents. I think it's made us known as individuals, because through getting into Beyond the Point, we've put our hands in other sort of baskets now, sort of naturally. You know, Joe is sort of going into media, filming local events and stuff. You know, I'm photographing local events, musicians and stuff that's sort of irrelevant to Beyond the Point, but they've definitely made us active, valuable members of the community, I'd like to think.
Since we started in 2011, we've had 75,000 views. That's something we're both really proud of.
A month we usually get on average 3,500 views, and in a day you get anywhere from 40 to 440 people looking at it.
We're really happy with them, they're always consistent. Favourite foods? Pasta bake.
Favourite food? Pasta.
Favourite drink? Tea.
Favourite drink? Shandies.
Favourite colour? Blue.
Favourite colour? Scotland red.
Titanic. Favourite film? Titanic.
Favourite film? Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost films.
Favourite game? Grand Theft Auto 5.
Game, Grand Theft Auto 5 or Age of Empires.
Favourite celebrity? Barbara Windsor.
Celebrity, Wilco Johnson.
Worst phobia? Spiders.
Phobia, heights.
Right, so Don Ball has said, have you ever got stuck in a pillbox or fought, etc.? Well, we have, haven't we?
Indeed.
Yeah. I'll let you explain it because you were stuck.
Well, we was at Coalhouse Fort, and there's this minefield control tower at one point, and we managed to get in it because the door was sealed off, although I managed to climb in through one of the firing slits.
Because we was with Sam and Jack on that trip, weren't we?
Yeah, so we had two others with us, luckily, to sort of help. But we had to get boosted up slightly to get in, and then me and Joe both got in. It was a really tight squeeze, only about that wide. And then to get out of it, I had to boost Joe up to get out, but of course then there's no one to boost me because it's only us two inside. So I had to find these rubber bottom of, you know where like fences, building site fences, like stick into the rubber bases. There's two of those lying around inside the pillbox, and I had to stack them up and use them as a step to get out. And it literally was, I had to pull. We had to pull like so hard. To
And I was outside of it at that time with Sam and Jack, and then it was sort of us three pulling Liam out. But
it's going to be stretched in half.
It was worth it. It was true BTV style.
It's quite a cool place in there. The next question is from George Tottill, and he asks us, when will the BTP song be released on iTunes?
Well,
now we do have plans to do this actually, although we're not quite sure yet. We haven't really looked into it too much, but we will at least at some point do some sort of music video and re-record it. Whether it makes iTunes or not, we'll have to see.
we did have a look, and iTunes, because it's American, you've got to have all this American tax forms and that, but there will be a way around it, we're sure. Okay, so we've got two questions from Graham Jones. The first one, do you ever get concerned that each other's photos or videos do not come out properly? I would say, because I focus on the video, because Liam does take a lot of photos, I don't really get that worried. And I say, you have a good camera and that, so it's not like there's a risk half of them would come out blurry or whatever. So no, I'm not worried.
Yeah, no, I think with the photos really, like I think like we really make sure like we get a bit like a shot of everything. But apart from that, I don't think you can go much wrong.
So Graham's second question, have you ever had to cancel a visit due to a problem with gear or something else? I can't think of a time we have. Whether on occasions we might have, because I remember our camping trip, we changed the date of that at last minute.
Forward, like, we was literally like,
tomorrow we're going.
Tomorrow, yeah, it's lit. So, no, I don't think I mean, perhaps if we've got equipment ordered in and we're waiting for it, we might say we won't do this until after, but I wouldn't say we've had to cancel anything.
Some filming bits, like for midnight or whatever, we might have, if it was raining, we might put it off at a late stage or that, but never sort of fully cancelled it or anything.
Melissa Heverson asks, what has been the most exciting moment?
I'd probably say when we won our Community Archives Award.
I think that sort of time, I mean obviously although Explorers are exciting anyway.
There's never a dull moment.
But I think, that award, that sort of summer holiday, it was a bit of a VIP lifestyle, because we had radio talks here, we had awards there, and it was quite, we felt like we'd sort of made it a little bit for that.
And we had some good trips as well that sort of summer. We had the Gherkin one as well, and that was an exciting year. That was last year, 2013. Okay, so next one is from Luke Baker. All those hours exploring the great outdoors made me more resilient and confident. Is this quote relevant to you? Would you say so?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, because I don't know, but I think that it definitely sort of it's made us fans of the great outdoors, which I never really was. I was never that fussed about, I love the outdoors and all that.
We're more an inside computer people, wasn't we?
Yeah, but I think it's definitely gave us, like, we feel going around outside in the wilderness, walking through bushes, going off the beaten track, we feel we know what to do when that happens, you know.
Especially as well like on the Firesons trip, because we get dropped off at a point, then we have to walk quite a way. And it's just nice to walk along, you know, you've got no buildings or anything by it, it's just open land.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite nice.
Luke's second question asks, has BTP influenced what you'd like to do as a career?
That's it?
Well, yeah, I think it definitely has for both of us, really.
I'd say so, because obviously the majority of the filming projects I do is fall beyond the point. You know, I've done loads filming the murals and God knows how many documentaries we've done. So I'd say it's definitely influenced me.
And like, I want to do history at university and that, and I think it's definitely made I suppose it sort of put us in the history game, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, in the local area at least, you know. And I'd like to continue that in the future.
Maureen's question, where do you see yourself work-wise in 10 years from now? Between Liam, where do you see yourself?
I don't know. Well, I don't know really. I mean, I think it's quite hard to really pinpoint what's going to happen in the future. But I think, you know, the better. I'd obviously prefer as good as I can get a future, but don't know what might happen. But I think, yeah, I would like to probably I definitely want to carry on history and that, and I do also like a bit of art and design and that, so perhaps that will come in later on, I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I wish we had some sort of mystic Meg who could tell us, but no, something in media or filming, whether it be freelance or an actual proper job, but I'm not sure. I can probably imagine Beyond the Point still going then.
Yeah, I think in some form,
13th birthday.
at least just be left on the internet for people to look at.
Yeah.
Whether we carry it on.
But we definitely try as hard as we can to run this alongside a job. Yeah.
Paul Taylor says, I'm going to ask 2 questions and be greedy. Well, I think we're appreciative of that. He says, where would you most like to visit, being the sort of holy grail of local history and urban exploration?
UK-wise, I know Severals is a popular place.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd particularly want to visit it, because you do hear a lot of stories about police involvement.
Yeah.
You know? But I think it might be in another countries, I don't know whether it be Russia or Germany or America, because they have some great big buildings that are left abandoned, like shopping malls or old football stadiums or places.
I think like an abandoned shopping mall, I always think would be like my personal ideal location. If Lakeside went abandoned, then that would be,
we'd be there in a shot.
Cool, that.
And Paul's second question, what has been your best explore so far and why? For me, I'd say the Tilbury Tunnels, because it was a real taste of sort of local history. We didn't entirely know what we're going to experience. You see all the pictures online and that, but it's not until you're actually there you think, wow.
Yeah.
But that was a good explore. It's not just one small place. You go in the tunnels and you go on top and places like that.
Yeah.
Or if not, I'd say Clifford. I really like that. It was a nice photogenic place, and also that was quite big as well, wasn't it?
I think what was good about the East Tilbury Tunnels was, at the time, I remember when we first went there, I thought it was from World War II, but then after we found out they were Victorian, so there's well over 100 years old, with all writing still left.
Yeah.
So that sort of, it was like the punchline to it. Sam Bird asks, if the Canviana Monster was an Arctic Monkeys album, which would it be?
We're all the Arctic Monkeys fans, so I'll let you answer that.
I think really it could be any of them, because they're both just badass, aren't they, really?
Okay, so Vicky Larry has asked, how many video clips / photos are not published online? Well, video-wise, which is what I deal with, some clips we tend to use more of. For this, I did a lot of shots for the BTP room, but I used something like 5 out of about 50 clips, so there was a lot there not published. But normal visits, most of them do tend to be used and published, but we keep all of the clips, so there's always going to be that sort of record of them. And for photos?
I think photos pretty much stay, part because we upload all our photos from where we go to our Facebook page, apart from duplicates where we take perhaps 2 shots of almost exactly the same angle of the same thing, but then obviously what actually makes the main website and the articles is usually only the best ones. Vicky Redburn asks, what has been your scariest moment?
There's not one that I straight away think, oh, that was scary.
Yeah.
We haven't really had that. I wouldn't say we've had a really scary moment.
It's more just like some places are scarier, like heights and that. I wouldn't really say.
It's not like we've had any ghost or security encounters or anything, really.
I mean, we did go to Borley Rectory.
Yeah.
Was it England's most haunted location? The site of it. And it's like a famous haunted house, isn't it? We didn't have any paranormal goings on there, but that was spooky because we did go with a guy who had some very strange goings on there at one point and interview him, so that's all exciting.
Well, there you are, that's all our questions answered. Thank you very much to those who have asked the questions, either using hashtag AskBTP or have done it via Facebook. It's been really great to answer those questions, and hopefully we have helped you a bit. So let's move on to this documentary. So here we have our BTP room, which is at an exclusive location, and as you can see here, we have our Beyond the Point store. And this is what we take with us when we go to different community events. This has come with us when we've done the Queen's Diamond Jubilee event in Kirkby Island, the Essex Records Office, and some other places that we've been to and represented ourselves. As you can see here, we've got our main display that was updated last year. It's a map of all different historic hotspots. There's Kirkby Island, goes over to Southend a bit, we cover a bit of Kent, and then each area on its colour coordinated. So you see we've got there some forts, explosive factory. When we went on our camping trip, we started there in Gravesend, then we went along to Cliff Fort and Cliff Explosive Factory. On the actual stall itself, we've got our Beyond the Point poster here. And then next to that, we've got our handbook and leaflet. The handbook there is 2013, and we're looking at updating these two and get them professionally printed. Along from this, we've got some of our finds, including Cox's Pottery, and along with that, we've got a CanveyIsland.org postcard with Cox in, so that people know where it is from. We also have scattered here some photos that were taken. Some on Canvey, like the abandoned boat and oil refinery, and also in Shoebury as well at the gun emplacement. Over here we have some archive learnt, archive found, explored, creative, etc. badges, and that's part of Beyond the Point supporting the Archive Explored campaign about getting community archives known, and we was involved with the launching that at Houses of Parliament, and that was an exciting visit for us. Down here we've got our Canvey Island comprehensive documentary DVDs. These are the last two left, but probably not going to sell these because we're looking in the near future of getting that refilmed and updated, as our camera skills have come a long way since, so we just think we can do a better job with that. Then if we move over here, we've got another section. It's more our sort of exploring gear and that. You can see there we've got Dr. Feelgood posters, because it was us that was filming and taking photos at the official exhibition opening night. Was invited by Chris Fenwick and we filmed that and did documentary on it. And there's 2 posters there. We've got the original one here that's from the 10th to 26th of May, and then we have an extended one there because it was so popular. Going down, we've got our Community Archive and Heritage Group of the Year award there, which we're extremely proud to have. And when we go on our stalls, that accompanies our poster on our table. We've got a couple of finds here, just bits of pottery, nothing really that significant. Now if we go down here, this is some of the exploring gear that we actually take with us. Some more books, and just some bits and bobs down the bottom. Coming underneath the stall, this is our camera bag. Quite a big bag. This doesn't tend to come with us when we are out exploring because it is so big and heavy. Opening it now, there is actually nothing much in here, and that is because the camera is being used now. But the camera does come with us, just not all the other gear. Under here we've got some photo albums that we take with us. And here we have some displays on the 1953 floods. Now I was a student at Castle View and they did have a big display on this. And they had all sorts of cutouts, old photos, and some really nicely mounted displays. And rather than just get thrown away, we decided to keep them all. And sticking with that, we've got this black bag under here, and that actually has newspapers in. And what we do is we keep significant newspapers that we think may be of use to either us or other people in the future. And some of the things that we do keep, we've got Who Do You Think You Are magazine. This one was kept because we are in it. This one here, The Way We Were Too, spring 1989, so this is an old paper, that's the reason it's been kept. This one isn't in the best condition, but you can see 1989 there, pictures of the royals, and it has some other landmarks and that inside. Local, well, a national newspaper, but a local storyline, Flapjack, Whack, Rap, Clap, Trap. Quite a tongue twister, and that's about the Flapjack incident on the island. Going again back to the Canvey Island floods, we've got this newspaper article, and this one is actually featured in our upcoming film documentary Midnight, so that's going to be released later this year, and then you will recognise this front cover. Not entirely Canvey related, but the Olympics. Again, this was a landmark event for London in the UK, London 2012, and that's why this was kept. Latest one here, the Echo, that's Wednesday the 9th of July, and that one was kept because we're in it again. So we do have a lot of newspapers in there, ranging from local events like this up to the birth of Prince George. Coming around this side, we've got our Stephen Ince sign here. That was found and brought back by us when we went to the point, and unfortunately nearly drowned, but nevertheless we've got this now. Part of this bit here was actually bent up like that, so it just has cable ties at the bottom to keep it flat. Moving alongside, we have our favourite little friend, is the Canvey Island Monster. This one of which made an appearance in Canvey Island Monster Returns Part 2. And there he is. Down here we don't have much, but we do have a couple of replica police batons. They're not old at all, they're only a few years, and they were just made from wood to be authentic. We used them actually in our Floods DVD, but apart from that, they aren't really used. This here is a Roman shield. This I got made when I was in year 3 at school. Dressed up as a Roman day, and that's survived ever since. Just plastic shield bought from a shop with MDF or whatever the wood is around it. Then if we go over to this corner of the room, we've got our Beyond the Point sign. This does come with us when we go on events with our stall, for the reason it does look professional and it is one of the most professional things that we have. Got here our hats, sort of Indiana Jones styled hat. We did wear these when we sort of started Beyond the Point, but since then with winds and that, it's just easier if we don't wear them as such. And they're also not entirely the most flattering. Behind that, we've got some more camera equipment, and we've got crutches there, which are props. You can see it's a big picture of the bill, in fact, but behind it, this green fabric is used for a green screen, which means if I was presenting here, I'd take this off the wall, and then in editing, we'd get rid of the green, and I can put a different background behind me. So I could be in LA, or I could be in the newsroom, or I could be anywhere. Faulty tumble dryer was the cause. So there you are, this is a tour of our BTP room, which isn't seen at all by the public, apart from our stall and that, when it is at public events. And now you know what happens behind the scenes here.
So it's Beyond the Point 3rd birthday today, the 17th of July
2014.
and we've got a rather scrumptious mega chocolate cake,
We do indeed.
and it's all to herself. Gonna tuck into it.
Yeah. I think this cake is one of the main reasons why we do Beyond the Point every year.
Yeah.
So we light the candles now, and then I think we'll cut it. Okay.
Cheers to BTP.
Cheers. So 3,
2, 1.
This is a very good party. Shall we tuck in?
Happy birthday Beyond the Point.
Well, what I've got to say is happy birthday to you, Beyond the Point. This is your 3rd year, and I wish you all the success in the future as well. Good luck.
Joe, Liam, many congratulations on 3 years, and I look forward to the next 3. Thank you for everything you do.
BTP Joe, he often likes to like coin phrases and stuff on trips. Like when we're out on trips or doing videos, he might slip in a Miranda. Oh, such fun!
Such fun!
Barbara Windsor, have you got a large one?
Have you got a large one?
Saucy that day.
When we're out on visits, normally, this is something you don't see in the camera photos, but Liam's always getting us to pose the photos because he does the photography side of things. He's like, alright Joe, if you stand there, like left a bit, right a bit, right, I'll just take a step back, and then if someone else taking it, it's like, right, can you just take it from that angle a bit, sit down a bit, yep, left a bit, that's it, lean back a bit, yep, like that.
Or even BTP Joe, you saucy bugger, if you'd excuse me, which BTP Joe actually had said to him on one occasion.
BTP Joe, you saucy bugger.
And then sometimes Liam does get us to pose for some more sillier poses, not all of which are published.
And once filming a Can Behind Monster video, he said, horrible, just horrible. horrible, and the way he like drew it out for ages was really funny, and he always repeats that.
Hey! You alright, Luke? You alright? Smarty, don't do it well. Luke? Oh! There's a flu going around, it's probably that. Oh!
Probably the monster.
Oh yeah.
It's the infection from the air.
Oh, that is horrible. Horrible.